the meat of your purpose. Imagine if all of that was just taken and put back in upside down, and like everything was different. Would you even be able to handle that?
I don't. Probably not. I would think I might say like, yeah, I'd go around and explain. I would probably break the fuck down, dude.
Yeah.
I'd probably break the fuck down.
Yeah.
Drop to my knees in the Target. You know, like I just saw a dude drop to his knees in Target.
In the supplement aisle. That's crazy to think about.
Now that you ask me that, I'm thinking, what the fuck would I do? I might start ripping mad drugs and shit. Why not?
Yeah.
You know?
There's fucking no consequences aside from losing your own life.
Yeah. I might just go to another dimension and get so fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how
just play trippy music and just.
It's always a good hang.
Chick.
Scam. We rolling? Me style is the bong, the bong, the
Bang, the bang. What's up, Brett?
What's up?
Good. We're back.
We're back. Bags for good hang, brush, good hang. Yeah, I'm fucking brain dead. Holy crap.
Dude, you had a long day.
I did have a long day.
Dude, I'm a little sick. So.
Yeah, we're falling apart. Right at
The
top
beacons,
of the
beacons
episode.
were lit, and we ride north regardless. Rohan will answer.
Forward unto dawn. What's up, man?
Chilling, man. I didn't do shit today. I was
Nice.
kicking it. You had a busy one.
I had a very busy day. At the time of filming this episode, I was in the studio all day. But I am revitalized and energized and erect for the day.
All right, so we kind of touched on this at the end of last episode, and like this concept. And I think it was, we wanted to talk about it a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this one because I fantasize about it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're the last person on Earth.
The last man standing.
You're the last man we got.
Hey, you're the best by default. You're the only. The last human being on Earth, dude.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Right?
Fuck.
What happened?
We love diving into the hypothetical on this podcast. Man.
But even outside of the podcast, our entire, basis of humor is based around really stupid hypothetical situations.
I love talking about that shit, man. It's fun.
Well, that's
We're
interesting.
introspective cats.
Yeah.
So like, how would this shit happen? Like, say you wake up one day and everyone's gone.
Yeah, I see it one of two ways.
Okay.
Way number one, everybody left.
Just didn't invite you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gil, you missed the alarm, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. They're calling you from Mars. Or B, some act of fucking magic or divine.
Maybe you a virus and you're the only one immune to it somehow.
Yeah.
Genetically.
That's true. In that case, you're dealing with a lot of dead bodies. Man.
There'd be a lot of trauma with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I think there's going to be a lot of the onset of trauma if you wake up one day and there's literally no one else.
That'd be so trippy.
Yeah, like I propose a question. At what point do you realize that you're the last person? Like, how would you even know that?
I think you'd get up. All right, oh, shit, their cars are here and no one's here. All right.
Yeah.
Then you jump in your car. I would jump in my car.
Yeah.
Be like, let me drive around. No one's on the road. That would be an immediately, what the fuck's going on?
Especially in Atlanta.
Yeah. Maybe you pull up to a gas station, like you just walk in. Where's the guy at the register?
Right.
There would be a lot of like, what the fuck is good right now?
Yeah, exactly. I think that hearing no traffic on the highway either, just nothing, it would be silent. No planes, no traffic on the highway, no cars on the street, no people, like nobody on walks.
You'd start bugging, I think.
Yeah, like I think pretty soon after it started.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck did I miss? Like, let me check my email. Like, what's good? Did everyone evacuate? Was there a gas leak?
Did I get a WhatsApp message?
I mean, is this a prank?
That'd be the world's greatest fucking prank.
that'd be a sick prank.
We're just gonna evacuate this city overnight and not tell this person.
You'd feel really stupid, probably. You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
I think
man.
then you just drive. You'd somewhere. Let me
Right.
just drive until I see something.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
Now, what if you went to the gas station and if you tried to get gas, do you think you'd be able to do that? Are we assuming like everyone disappears but systems still work?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
I think you could just go back and just be like 50 on pump 6.
Yeah.
Just rip it. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
sir.
I'm going to get into that a little later, but
Yeah.
I think you'd have access to everything right that first day, certainly.
Yeah, like the grid's still up.
Yeah, the grid's still
And
going.
whatnot.
Internet's still going.
Yeah.
Obviously, over time, like no one's on Earth, those systems are going to break down.
Yeah, eventually.
Without a team maintaining them.
Right. And then you kind of have to depend on your skills of like all your analog skills, so to speak, you know? Like what did I know how to do in the woods that could apply here?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And here's my question. Would your immediate thought be to stay where you are, or would you try to get out of town? Assuming you're here.
Man, like I would make a bunch of phone calls, no one answers, and then I'd be like, I'd run around the block probably going into stores, no one, okay, what the fuck? Then I think I would just head north
Yeah.
and I would just drive out of town and like look for people.
Yeah.
And it would become really heartbreaking really fast, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be scary, man.
I mean, how many hours would you drive before you're like,
I would drive to where my family lives in Massachusetts, I think. I would just head up there.
yeah.
Then they're gone. Now shit's really fucking spooky.
Oh God, he's choking up.
And my family and friends are gone. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, I would probably just if there was no one on the street, no one in the stores, nobody's picking up their phone. There's like TV stations are out. Like there's nothing. I'd probably assume that this was happening.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because in what realistic way could I be the last person in this city, but people exist everywhere else? Like, how could that happen? You know what I mean? I mean, how can any of this happen? It's all hypothetical, but I don't know. I would probably stay put and try to like stock up on supplies right off the bat.
You think you'd have the foresight to like, all right, this is it?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not the foresight of like, this is what's happening, but like, here's an opportunity to get supply. Something is happening that I don't know what it is. And like, here's an opportunity to get survival supplies. Like, I'm going to probably just take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
I
you.
don't know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think I'd start to lose my mind and I would realistically, I'd probably spend the rest of my life searching the earth for people.
Yeah.
I mean, or clues to what happened, Dude, I'd feel like I'd be constantly plagued by the why and the how
Yeah.
did this happen.
Yeah.
It would eat away at me forever almost.
There would be an unbelievable mental hurdle here to get over. I think like, I don't know. It's just really interesting to think about, it's easy to sit here and talk like just how the zombie episode was, it's easy to sit here and talk about it, but like, could we really get through this? I think you have to ask that same question in this situation of like, I don't know. You'd be freaking the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be absolutely insane. I mean, before we get into all that crazy stuff, like what is say, here's a scenario.
So you're frozen in a block of ice for 500 years.
Sure.
And when you thaw out, all your memories you remember what you had for lunch that day.
Yeah.
But there's not a human being left. Whoa.
Yeah. Like what before you freak out, what is some cool stuff you would do?
Okay.
What's something you've always wanted to do, but you're like, damn, there's people. I can't do that.
Probably fly a plane into just out of the atmosphere almost right, and then just jump out of it and then just
shit, parachute down.
Yeah, into a building. Just
That would be
just
crazy.
start shooting guns. I don't know. Like Mission Impossible shit.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like my life, my my sense of self-preservation would come down a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm the
eventually.
last fucking person alive. Like, I'm just gonna kind of fuck around. Like,
Right.
if I die, like, well, okay.
If you can take care of yourself and sustain yourself, then I mean, you don't have to worry about any external threat for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm picturing you in a 747 just trying to get that thing off the tarmac.
I would teach myself how to. You'd have access to everything, like, and all the time in the world, man. Like,
Yeah, teach yourself how to fly.
yeah. What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
That'd be crazy. Are we assuming like YouTube still works? Can you still go to YouTube University?
I was thinking about this. I think for a while you could. I mean, there's also books on everything. Like,
True.
I mean, so you say you come to grips with it. Like, I mean, you face a major crossroads, bro. Like, do I go on living? Like, we asked this question, like, what's the point?
Right.
Because, you know, I think you have a huge responsibility to, like, find meaning and purpose.
Right.
Because if you don't, you'll fall apart mentally.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, you kind of just asked me, like, you know, like, where are you? And, like, how would you spend this infinite time? You know, keep in mind, like, dude, it's funny. Like, we're socialized all our lives. We spend 20 plus years as kids going to school to prepare ourselves to get a fucking job, to fucking ride the bus into work or whatever. And then, you know, you fucking grind for like, none of that shit matters anymore.
Right.
It's all irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I feel like this episode is low key philosophical.
Big time. I don't even think it's low key at all.
No. Like, no currency. Like, it's so crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, how much of our purpose is defined by the modern world and the circumstances in which we live?
So much of it.
You know?
External validation. Like, you know, there's just so much up here.
That puts a lot in perspective, man. If your purpose is based on a man-made system that is only upheld by there being a civilization, you would reconsider that maybe. You know what I mean? Like, say you think you're put on this earth to teach. You're a teacher.
Boom.
You got no one left to teach.
Right.
And that is one of the most noble callings
Right.
on this planet. But so what happens when that's taken away from you? I mean, talk about an identity crisis.
Oh, big time.
You know,
big time.
You've gone your whole life identifying yourself as someone who teaches others to do
This
things.
is my
and
purpose, kind of.
all of a sudden there's no one else to teach.
You know? What is my purpose? You
Yeah.
pass butter.
That's right.
I don't know. Oh my God. You know, like, yeah, man, shit. You just have to find something, like a new purpose, I guess. And it becomes you got to look inside yourself and shit. And, you know, like, you have all the time in the world. Like, I think art would become a big thing. Like, you got to find, you know, something like self-expression through art. You got to stay busy too. If you just sit and fucking like that's when the dark thoughts start dancing.
Especially if you're alone.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how you feel when you, you know, freaking smoke some, what's it called? Oregano. And
reefer.
Yeah, oregano. And
it's a caprese salad.
and you like watch a space documentary or something, how small and insignificant you feel. Now imagine that same feeling, but there's literally no other people on Earth.
Jesus, man.
It would just totally make you question the purpose of life, the purpose of your own life, your consciousness, existence, all of this stuff. And
yeah, I think a lot of like what we do is driven by like, how do I want to be remembered? You know, your legacy.
Yeah.
You know, your children. It just becomes all about staying sane.
Yeah, it's total self-preservation, you know, because there is I think a part of us, you know, I want to believe that there's a part in everybody that exists to serve others.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And,
yeah.
You know, it's like it's a greater gift to give than it is to receive. So when there's no one to give anything, I don't know.
Maybe you
it's just,
dedicate yourself to the animals. The still
True.
animals.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Bang.
Absolutely. We wouldn't do them dirty like that.
Dude, I mean, I don't think I would eat animals.
Yeah.
if I'm the last person on Earth. And you might be like, nah, Gil, I'm hunting everything. I just think like you would have a deeper connection and appreciation for the life that is on Earth. still.
Sure.
And maybe like, you know, you can certainly live on plants and stuff. I don't know. I just think I wouldn't, I don't know if I would rock with like, you know, I'd build like a farmland and I'd have mad animals. That would be my companionship.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a bunch of dogs or something. But like,
Yeah.
then how do you feed all those? Like now it's like a whole job.
Yeah. I mean, that would take up most of your time.
So I think like, I want to think about this as stages of life.
Yeah.
So say it
that's
happens to
yeah,
us now.
okay.
How are you spending your younger years? And then when you're older, yeah, you might settle down.
Yeah.
I'm Magellan in that shit.
Yeah.
I'm going everywhere. I'm exploring every continent, bro.
Yeah.
I think.
How would you get to Europe? How would you get across the ocean? I mean, you could attempt to go across the Bering Strait through Alaska.
Would I get head from Amelia Earhart? I think I probably wouldn't. Maybe teach myself how to fly, man.
True.
I don't know, or sail.
We gotta land this plane.
You son of a bitch, you old sailor, you. I might try to sail. That's a dangerous mission, though.
Yeah, because I mean, what if you fucking die?
Dude, what if you get hurt? No one's there to help you.
Right, and
You're
if you don't have any
incredibly
medical
vulnerable.
knowledge, you're absolutely fucking barbecue.
I want to get over there, though. I want to.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a time to travel,
Yeah.
that's the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I just think I don't know if my first goal would be to travel abroad.
I think you're right. I'd spend a number of years in the West.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much of even just our own country that I haven't seen yet.
That's so true.
I would want to see that. I mean, I would probably pack a car and go out west.
Yeah, 100%. Got the place to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what I would do to keep from losing my mind, I think?
Get a beach ball or a volleyball as a companion.
Maybe. Blow up doll or something.
Oh my God.
Just tape your face to it. Grill.
Welcome back to Good Hang Pod. Just on a beach and all your fucking hair's all crazy.
I think I'd mob around the U.S. to start, and I'd rummage through at people's homes, you know, and I would rip their diaries and shit. As weird as that sounds, I think it'd be interesting. I think you would miss
hearing the stories of others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the drama, and like, oh shit, she was beefing with her fucking sister.
No way.
She was banging. Oh my, what? You know, I think that would, you know, it'd be help to pass the time. You could dive into the minds of other people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just like going through a scrapbook or
Yeah.
I feel like just being in someone else's home and seeing how they lived.
Exactly.
Because there's probably a lot of stuff in that home that was left exactly
Right.
how they were doing it
Right.
when they, you know,
Yeah.
when they got on the spaceship to Mars.
Yeah. I'd visit all kinds of walks of life. I think.
Yeah.
You know, the poor, the rich, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really an opportunity you may not have in your life if other people are on the planet to really get a look inside everyone's life.
Right. You took so much time to do that.
Yeah.
I'd be like Wally. You've seen Wally when he's like rummaging around at the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just doing that. You know?
Yeah. I like that.
I do a lot of reading in general, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When you read, you can borrow someone else's mind. You're diving into their brain. I think
you would probably have to find companionship in non-sentient
exactly
sources.
Right.
Which is crazy, man. I mean, it almost goes to the idea of animism, how every object has a soul. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you find friendship in this
Yeah.
shelf or whatever.
Right.
And it's
yeah.
like,
yeah.
you know, when you're alone. I mean, think about when you're just in your house for a day alone and someone comes home and you're like, ugh, you know,
Yeah,
what is,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
I was just talking to the toaster oven.
yeah, exactly. Now imagine that for a year.
Oh,
You know, being truly alone. I feel like, you know, hopefully within a year you'd find ways to kind of cope with the solitude.
Right.
Because there's a difference between being lonely and being in solitude.
true.
You know
True.
what I mean?
True.
It's lonely is a relative term,
Right.
right? If there's
I mean, you could be in a room full of people and feel alone.
exactly, and it's like if there's nobody on earth, you may. I don't know if lonely would be the right word, but maybe like suffering in solitude
Mhm.
would be a better way to say it
Right.
because, you know, lonely implies that there are people out there they just aren't with you.
Right, right,
You know?
right. My teacher said this back in the day. He said, just as much as we need each other, we need solitude.
Yes.
And I felt that, you know, that I'm somebody that I've talked about it. Like I need my solitude and my alone time. I think everyone deserves to, you know, give themselves some time for themselves or whatever. That's when you figure out who you are, I think. But you flip that around and like, we need each other.
Right.
We absolutely need human connection.
Yeah.
So
Without a doubt.
yeah, man. Like, and I think I would dive into art as a way of coping.
Yeah. I was going to ask, would you still do that?
100%. 100%. I think it's a good time to mention what Pressfield said.
Yeah.
We love talking about Stephen Pressfield.
It's the big question he asks in The War of Art. He goes, you really have to ask yourself, if you were the last person on earth, would you still do it? And if the answer is no, then you need to find a new thing.
Right, right.
And that's so incredibly heavy. And I think about that a lot in my career now. You know what I mean? If there was no one else on the planet, would I still be driven to pick up a guitar and write a song or whatever? And my answer is yes. And
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that maybe that would be how I cope with all this.
100%.
You know, it's because it's the one thing I have from the old world that, you know, has stayed consistent and true and continues to serve me in that way. But because, I mean, believe me, man, there have been a lot of times in my life where music helped me not to feel lonely. As corny as that sounds,
No,
you know
it
what I'm
doesn't.
saying? Like when I felt FOMO or lonely or just down bad, I just pick up a guitar and just play. And I'm like, it kind of disappears.
Heals you a little bit.
Yeah. And it doesn't like push it under the rug. It literally just dissipates that feeling. It just goes away.
Right. And why is that? Is it because you're distracting yourself
I
from
don't know.
thinking?
I don't think it's a distraction thing. I really think it is reminding myself of my purpose. You know what I mean? And just because there's no humans on Earth doesn't mean that you're. This is actually an interesting question. I'm going to pose this as a question as opposed to like a statement.
Mhm.
If humans disappear and you're the last person on Earth, does your purpose remain the same? Is your like it depends on if you believe that you were given your purpose or if you chose your purpose.
I feel like I was given it.
Right.
So I think I would. I feel like I'm a storyteller. So yeah,
Right.
I would still tell stories. I would still write, but it would become different.
Yeah.
There's no audience and stuff. Not that I write from a hack mentality place where it's like I need to please an audience. That's not how I operate. But man, it would just take a different form, I think. Maybe I would write some massive manuscript about my journey through life as the last person on Earth, and I would document everything, and
it's your
cameras
magnum
would be
opus.
rolling, and it would be like the Book of GILL.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Or whatever,
crazy.
The Gospel of GILL.
I could see how it starts. You know, it's a camera on a tripod, and you start and you back up, and you're like, "Grill." You open the Gill Bible, and the first page just says "Grill" in italics.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Man, like, yeah, I mean, I think I'd do a lot of different things, though. I think I'd want to make music. I'd be compelled to make music.
Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. What's my excuse now? You know, I'm going to rip it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd paint. I'd do all kinds of shit, man, to pass the time.
Yeah, because you could do if being judged for anything was ever a fear of that has stopped you from doing it,
Banger.
that fear is gone now.
Right, man, right. It's a
You
great
know,
point.
the only one judging you is the man upstairs.
It's a great point.
Yeah, now would be a great time to try stuff, man. And it's like, you know, you're no longer just contained to the role that you played in society, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's gone. So you are now only obligated to play the role in your own life.
Right.
And if it serves you, then you do it. If it doesn't, you don't.
Right. It's very simple. The decision-making process becomes very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, whereas before you have to be like, you know, does this not only serve me, but does it surpass my ego and serve others as well?
Right.
And I don't know. It's our careers are a little bit different.
How is it taking form for you?
I
I know you would still play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that right now I like to create albums to you know, have a body of work and let it be a stamp in my life that can maybe serve others. Right. But if you backtrack in that sentence, just to have a body of work is nice. It feels good. And like, you know, the purpose of making music isn't to, you know, for the most people to hear it. The purpose is in the act itself.
Right.
It's like the same, literally go back to that Pressfield where he quotes someone else saying, you know, you don't have a right to the fruits of your labor, only to the labor itself. And the making of the thing is the labor itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have a right to that. And I don't know, I would probably still try to operate in the mentality of like, you know, who am I to hold this back?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if I still believe that that thing is coming through me, not from me, then it's not really my place to decide whether it comes to fruition or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
I don't know if that would manifest in, you know, camping out in a recording studio for a month and figuring it out, or if it would just be me carrying a guitar on my back and playing songs and writing songs and just having it all up here. But I don't know. For me, it's like journaling.
Right.
You know, for like how you just said, like you would make the, you know, the book of GILL, and it would be your diary. I would have, like, my book would be song,
The music. Yeah.
yeah, because that's how I timestamp my life now. And
Right.
so why
You would be the imagine like you'd be the only one making new shit.
that's crazy.
Isn't that like you would have access to all the old shit? You could have a record, whatever, an iPod, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But no one's making new shit. No TV shows. No nothing. Nothing's new. Like that's so wild.
Every production has ceased.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane to think
yeah.
about. It's like COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
I like since there's no human beings, I would get really attached to animals, I think. Like, I mean, it might get to a point where I already said this, I wouldn't really, you know, eat them. I think I would care about their welfare. Like I already care about animals and stuff, but I think like, you know, I think I'd have a higher appreciation for them. You know, I'd ride horses around town, you know, I'd have a lot of like pets later in my life, like when I'm not traveling as much and exploring. I think I'd settle down more.
I think having like maybe a dog companion while you're exploring would be cool.
Oh, that'd be true.
But definitely not, you know,
20 dogs.
a sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, imagine riding into town on horseback. I can see it now.
There's just no one.
Yeah. The British are... I'm just kidding. Yeah, dude.
I feel like if I got real lonely, bro, it kind of sounded weird how I set that up. But I'd maybe mob into the forest and see if the apes would take me in. You know, just live among the apes.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I'd probably continue to eat meat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably learn to hunt. I would only want to kind of ethically source that.
I mean, it would be certainly, you know, it's not like you're factory farming.
Well,
like,
right. Think about like how like one kill would go a long way for you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to like
right.
herd cows into a room and slaughter them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're setting all the wildlife free, man. Because I wouldn't want to see any animals continue to go through any inhumane treatment.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I have a dog, it's not on a leash, dude.
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't know. I don't know why. Seeing dogs on leashes
I don't
is
like
just
it.
is.
I don't like it either.
Yeah. It's just weird, man.
It's just like
You've enslaved this fucking animal.
Right. Dude, I see some people like tugging that shit. Ugh.
It's crazy.
I want to choke
dude.
them out. Like,
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
It's wild. When the dog's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's just sniffing there. It's just sniffing some shit.
And they're like they're walking on their phone with their dog. Come on, yank it.
You know.
Yeah,
it's like a rope around your neck.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So karma's gonna get you, man. Someday when the dogs are ruling and we're on leashes.
For real.
Morty, you have always been kind to us.
Where are my balls, Summer?
feel like half
Where
this
are my
podcast is just
testicles?
us quoting that show.
Yeah, it's coming. It's just so money.
Yeah, I would. No, I definitely like the idea of having a canine companion
Yeah,
for
right.
this,
Yeah,
and like the I Am Legend type of thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like the Fallout 4. Like he's got the shepherd. you
Yeah,
know,
and I mean,
yeah.
and think about the senses that a dog has that we don't. You know, in
Right,
terms of hearing or smell or
yeah, it could
you
be
know,
protection
warning
from
you
other wildlife.
from
Yeah,
exactly
sure.
because not just because there's no humans left doesn't mean a lion won't still maul your ass.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that as time goes on, animals would retake
Everywhere. So
previously
hard.
populated areas. Yeah,
Think about the overgrowth of everything.
that's what I'm saying.
There's
you
no
know?
one maintaining the grass.
Yeah, there's freaking deer walking around the city streets. There's overgrown plants. You know what I mean? Eventually, the earth would reclaim everything. I mean, that would take a long time, but
the earth would heal in a lot of ways. Think
yeah.
about the fact that there's no pollution now. There's
right.
no
Factories have stopped.
yeah. The earth
Big
would heal, man.
corporations are fucking.
That's the nature of it.
They're done.
You know, I mean, at some point, this is a crazy thing to think about, but at some point, human beings will not exist on this planet.
Yeah,
Like that is something that's going to happen sometime.
I like that quote from Interstellar where he's like, you know, human beings were born here. We weren't meant to die here. And they're like, we got to get off this rock.
Right.
You know,
right.
but
Yeah.
it is interesting, man.
Yeah, just
But
like any other species that have gone extinct.
yeah, I mean, eventually our sun is going to swell and engulf the earth.
Right. That
For
I think we won't make it till that point. That could be a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's like fucking, correct me if I'm wrong, but like millions of years away.
Yeah. We'll be gone before then, or all robots or something.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, if we just kept repopulating and we were somehow able to sustain human life until then, I mean, we would be swallowed up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like at that point we'd be off planet.
We'd have
Hopefully
to.
we'd find new worlds to
we'd
live
have
on.
to.
But
Or we'd have some kind of, we'd engineer ourselves to live in other elements or
Right.
whatever, breathe, not have to breathe. Like
yeah,
or
who knows
whatever.
if we'll be wearing
Who the
skin
fuck-
suits.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? But
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's an
yeah,
interesting thing to think about, and especially if you're the last person, you're like, well, when I die, the human race is gone.
that's it.
That's so crazy.
That's wild.
That's so insane to think about. I mean, it brings up, you know, you got to take stock of like what is happening. I feel like there'd be a lot of upsides and a lot of downsides to this
Yeah.
thing. I
yeah.
mean, we already kind of talked about some of the upsides of like you getting to explore a lot of the stuff that you didn't have the time or the wherewithal to explore earlier in your life.
Yeah, I think there'd be peace of mind.
Sure.
There's no societal pressures. There's
Right.
nothing. Like
Yeah.
there'd be a peace to it.
Yeah, 100%. I like that.
Peace and quiet. Shit.
Yeah.
And there's two sides to that coin on that, but you know, like I said, there's no pollution. You know, the earth would heal. Like, you would have a deeper connection to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got full control of all the resources you need.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You know, and you got time, man. All of it in the
Time,
world,
dude.
man.
That would be probably the biggest upside
Yeah.
to all of this is the extra time that you
Yeah,
have.
you
I
just
think,
like can do anything you want. Like all the hobbies that you put off or whatever, you can just do it.
Yeah, I'd want to drive really fast somewhere.
Yeah.
Do like, you know, $150 on the highway or something. Just feel the wind in my hair. Feel the roar of the engine. Anyway, what about some downsides? And that kind of will lead us into our next
Yeah.
topic, but
It'd be tough, man. The systems would break down. Food, healthcare,
yeah,
you
supply
know,
chain.
yeah, transportation. Like you'd have to figure that shit out if
Yeah,
you want to
you
get
are
around.
on your own.
Yeah, you know, so you'd have to make your own. I mean, you could roll through a grocery store, but you know, there might be some beans chilling for a few years. But at some point, like shit's gonna.
You're gonna have to
be-
learn how to plant some fucking
Right,
food.
exactly. You know, there's no workforces to keep that shit going.
Right.
You know, and kind of on that same note, like tech may be operational for a little while, but at some point, like, you know, power grids, the internet, like that's going down.
I mean, anything that's solar powered would probably remain working
Yeah,
because all it needs is the sun.
right. But there, I feel like there's maintenance involved. In all
That's true.
those
Well, yeah, if
things.
it breaks, it's like
Right,
unless you're an
right.
engineer that
Yeah.
knows how to fix that.
Right.
But yeah, the grid, the network, the worldwide connectivity is like
Right.
gone.
And you'd have to develop some basic survival skills right out the gate. I think.
Right.
You have to learn those things.
Right.
So that's, I mean, you could look at that as a downside, I guess. It's like, shit, you know, and, you know, I think the excitement of living freely would eventually wear off, maybe.
Yeah. Like
And-
anything else, we just get used to it and we take it for granted.
Yeah, and then you get into this maybe monotonous routine of survival, and it might be like, fuck, you know.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, you know, how many times are you just gonna like go to the go-kart track and race around by yourself until you're like, all right,
Yeah.
what's next? You know, well, that's why I feel like you'd have to explore. You know,
Yeah.
eventually,
Right, but
because-
even someday, like you're not gonna be as mobile. Now you're
right, and you're gonna be like, I'm exhausted from just traveling all the
Right,
time.
right,
You know,
right.
think about how you feel after coming home from like a week-long vacation, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
because you don't have the safety net of like medicine or a hospital, there's probably a little bit of like a constant like survival stress that's in there. And it's not like a zombie apocalypse survival stress, but it is like, hey, if I fall and get hurt, I'm gonna just
It's
stay
over.
hurt.
Yeah, it's kind of over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of just emotional taxes that you'd have to pay.
Yeah. I mean, I
With
think the
all this.
hardest, biggest downside would be the isolation.
Yeah.
No human connection, no
Mhm.
companionship.
Yeah.
You know, and being alone, you're like we said, you're more vulnerable. Natural disasters, you know, whatever. You get caught in something, a storm.
Yeah.
There's no one bailing you out. You know,
I
you
was
get
think-
injured.
I was just thinking about that. Like, you know, people in different parts of the world are very keen to the like specifically regional mechanics of the weather and the stuff that happens in their region. Like, you know, we've never, I don't know about you, but I've never experienced a receding tide that leads to a tsunami.
No,
You know what I mean? So like, I don't
or like
know.
a fierce tornado or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like signs
Right.
that if something bad is about to happen.
Right.
It's like-
and sorry. And if who knows, like say, you know, the earth starts to heal, who knows what's going to happen with the weather and stuff. Like
Right.
shit could get crazy. Like, it could,
Exactly.
you know,
It
I
could
don't know.
start, you know, the weather might change where it's usually been this way because we've been polluting this area for whatever.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. It's just, you know, there's so much we don't know about
Right.
geography and like, you know, the weather that's specific to that. And, you know, Mother Nature is not kind. She's kind in that she provides for us, but also like no mercy.
She don't care.
When it gets angry, it gets angry, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so you would talk about becoming kind of one with the earth a little bit. You would have to really, really respect that.
Right.
And, you know,
You'd probably learn some of those skills, like, you know, like kind of like the Native Americans were very like the foresight of like, oh, you know, rainstorm's coming. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
And we know a little bit of that now, you know,
Yeah.
when you feel the temperature plummet before
Yeah,
a thunderstorm and that type of thing. Like, you know, we're not completely ignorant to that, but relatively speaking, we've only lived in a small fraction of this world.
Mhm.
You know, I've never experienced a tornado. I've only experienced kind of the fringe of a hurricane.
Right.
I've experienced a blizzard being from upstate New
Yeah,
York.
yeah.
But, you know, tsunami. I actually did experience an earthquake this summer.
Really.
It was wild. I was in California and I was at the gym, and all of a sudden the building just started to shake, and everyone kind of stopped and looked around at each other, and then went back to what they were doing.
That's a
I mean, they
trip.
were so used to it. You know,
That's a
it happens all the
trip.
time.
Holy
And I was
fuck.
like, did anyone else feel that? You know, I was freaking out. But
Man, that's a trip.
I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things to consider about the emotional side. I mean, you know, at what point would we've talked about this in an earlier episode, but you know, at what point would your motivation just have to convert to discipline? You know,
Yeah.
because you're excited at the beginning. You're excited about traveling and going to new areas and like raiding grocery stores or whatever. But eventually, the excitement of that and the motivation is going to wear off,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta go to the store today to get fucking food."
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
it's I think at some point you want to settle somewhere and
Yeah.
like kind of just live off the land. Maybe you have some animal companions. I try to settle in a mild climate Maybe somewhere like a beautiful Italian vineyard or something.
Ooh, that'd be
I
cool
don't know.
if you could get over there.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I'd try to make it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you had to settle anywhere in the U.S., where would you settle?
Dude, here's the thing. Like, I think we're happiest as human beings when we're near the ocean, but that's also dangerous, kind of.
Yeah. What about a lake?
A lake would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
A lake would be nice. I almost feel like I need some kind of like farmland. I don't know, man. I'd find somewhere. You might spend 10 years searching for the perfect spot.
Right.
I don't know.
When you
what that
find the
looks
perfect
like.
spot, you're like, is there a better spot out there?
And yeah, that would probably eat away at you too. It's just like,
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly. I would probably want to be near the ocean, like within driving distance, maybe a couple minutes drive, but set back enough that like if some shit went down in the ocean,
You'd be okay.
I'd be all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe Southern Cal or something. Well, somewhere down the coast of Mexico, South America. I don't know.
Yeah, somewhere where you're not going to die during the winter because it's so cold.
I don't want to be in the snow. That's like heat. Do we even have heat? You can make a fire. That's just so much work.
I mean, but it's like it's just another system. Like eventually it would go out.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
just
mean?
another,
And your HVAC would break or whatever.
Nah, I'm not chopping firewood all winter. Like I got the pick of the whole earth. Like nah,
Yeah,
going somewhere mild.
yeah. It might still be cool to have a little campfire.
Yeah,
Every now and
I mean,
then.
you can still make a fire.
Yeah, but
Rip a hot tub.
maybe not
Build
every
a fire underneath the tub.
oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
yakuza,
Yeah.
the sauna on.
Here's an interesting question for you, bro. Thought about this one as we were talking. Do you think you'd keep track of time?
No,
Like dates?
no.
I wouldn't either. Because I think around the holidays or birthdays of loved ones, it would be too hard for me.
True. You
You
know
know?
what? I said no very immediately, but also, would that help you maintain sanity?
Ooh, I don't
Like
know.
again, something from the old world.
Right. It's a good,
You
that's a
know?
good point.
Like, oh, it's Christmas. You have a little celebration by yourself.
Oh,
Like,
that's so sad.
it seems lonely, but is it worse to?
Try to forget.
Yeah, and then would you feel kind of aimless and helpless if you literally did not know what day it was or what month it was? You know,
I think even the months, the days of the week, whatever, it doesn't really. We've been doing that as human beings forever, but it's for like a purpose, kind of.
right?
I don't think what's the purpose
I don't
to
know.
keep track of time.
I don't. Well, maybe like, hey, winter's coming. I need to move elsewhere.
Right.
Like,
I think you would get the feeling, oh, the weather's getting colder. Okay, it's time to do these things. I don't know if I would, man. I don't know if I
yeah.
would.
Eventually,
I
I mean,
would get up with the sun and I would go to bed with the sun. I
Yeah,
think.
that definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you just like, oh, I'm tired. All right, I'm gonna fall asleep now. And
Right.
I don't know. That's a tough question, dude. I honestly don't know my answer to that just yet.
Yeah.
I think maybe I would at the beginning, and then after a couple of years, maybe I'd be like, all right,
Right.
I did it. It's not helping me anymore.
Right.
It's easier just to kind of like live in the flow of the seasons or whatever.
Yeah. Would you carry pictures of family and friends around with you?
I think so. I think that would help my purpose. Because there's a part of me that's like, I need to survive for them.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
they're, or maybe like in hope that maybe they would return one day. I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't want to. I would do my best to hold on to like parts of humanity.
Yeah, I think that'd be a big thing for me too.
Yeah, and I think human connection is a huge part of that. And so, whatever you got to do to feel like you still got people in your life, man.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you think after a long period of time you would almost forget what it's like to be touched or kissed
absolutely, dude.
or held or whatever?
Absolutely. I mean, if you go a fucking 4 days without someone putting their hand on your shoulder, and you're like, it's like we vastly underestimate the power of that.
Right.
I think, and like lacking human touch, man. Like, oh gosh, to forget that would be crazy.
Right.
I don't know. That's a great question, man. I think it would become very hard to keep going
Right.
at some point without that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at what point does your will to survive outweigh, or at what point does your realization of the loss of your humanity outweigh your will to survive?
Right.
Where you're like, this isn't living.
Right.
You know what I
Shit.
mean?
Deep.
I think that if all this hypotheticals happened, I think your lifespan would become dramatically shorter.
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And like, honestly, like an old dog, I think at one point you would just lay down and die. Like you don't have this goal of I'm gonna get to 90 so I can meet my great grandkids or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that shit.
there.
I think that is real. I think that matters.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's a real
100%.
thing. You know, purpose, having, you know, that will to survive for this reason. Like, there's not a lot of reasons left.
Yeah, when your primal instinct to repopulate is gone, and you know, your purpose to serve others in your life as a parent or as a child or as a sibling or whatever, when all of that is gone, it's like, you know, that's like 50% of your fucking purpose, if not more,
Right.
gone.
Right.
And, you know, this whole situation would really illuminate what truly matters and what doesn't.
Right.
How much stuff in your life right now is based around the superficial constructs of our society, or, you know, the cell phone you have in your pocket or whatever, all this stuff that would become obsolete and disappear in this situation. What would, you know, when the rock candy melts away, like, what are the diamonds that are left? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know, man. Like, it's hard to even wrap my head around that situation.
Right. Because, you know, there's no way of ever simulating.
Right. And like, who the fuck would want to?
Right.
This sucks.
Unless you just go into the freaking Amazon rainforest and just never come out.
Yeah.
But you'd probably be killed before you could ever really get to these feelings. I don't know. It's weird.
It's different than the zombie apocalypse because it's like there might be other people out there and or whatever.
Yeah,
if you
like,
haven't
there's
seen
a hope of
years.
repopulating and humanity coming back. But this is like, it's cooked. You know, I like,
right, man. Do you think you'd bang, blow up dolls or stuff? Like, you know, do you think you'd lose it? Think you'd talk to mannequins in the mall?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I think so. I think that would be the closest thing you have to companionship, really.
I think you'd have,
Yeah, aside from an animal companion.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, your definition of love would completely change. Your definition of gratitude would completely change. Just imagine everything you've ever known and know right now, all of your beliefs and all of your, you know, systems and the meat of your purpose. Imagine if all of that was just taken and put back in upside down and like everything was different. Would you even be able to handle that?
I don't. Probably not. I would think I might say like, yeah, I'd go around and explain. I would probably break the fuck down, dude.
Yeah.
I'd probably break the fuck down.
Yeah.
Drop to my knees in the Target. You know, like I just saw a dude drop to his knees in Target.
In the supplement aisle. That's crazy to think about.
You know, now that you ask me that, I'm thinking, you know, what the fuck would I do? I might start ripping mad drugs and shit. Why not?
Yeah.
You know?
There's fucking no consequences aside from losing your own life.
Yeah. I might just go to another dimension and get so fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how
just play trippy music and just.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of speaks to like how quickly a human can become their own demise.
Right.
You know, and is that kind of hardwired into our DNA, or is that something that you would acquire through this specific situation?
I think it's a combination of the two. But
Right.
I'd like to. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that would thrive in this situation.
No.
So
I don't know if there's anyone that would, unless you're a complete and utter psychopath.
Yeah.
Like if you've grown up in isolation and this is just your thing, maybe you'd be like, okay, whatever. I do this every day.
Right.
But man, if you're in
some people live those kind of lives, like ultra recluse lives.
Yeah.
But how happy are those people? I don't know. Maybe they're fucking on top of the world. I don't know. But even though they're alone, they know there's people out there.
Right. It's like you have that safety net of maybe someday I'll
head
not
out.
be alone.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, you will be alone. You know, it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's so wild to think about, man. I mean, it's like, what's the big why? Why survive? Why do it?
I guess that's a good way to wrap kind of what we're talking about up. Is like, do you think you'd make it or no? And there's no shame in saying, you know what? If you were gonna take yourself out, how would you do it too? I guess that's a second part of my question.
I'm gonna take a page out of your book and I'm gonna teach myself how to fly.
Yeah, I think I'm going this route too.
I'm just jumping, no parachute, man.
Yeah. Where over where?
Oof, maybe the target that you broke down. Right through the roof. I don't know. Maybe like somewhere in the mountains or, into the roof of a
something
Denny's.
Scenic as hell, so you can at least be like, this is tight.
Hey, I've never done this before. This is
I think before I'd go out, I'd want to jump in a submarine of some kind and check out some ocean. I've always been fascinated deeply with the ocean.
Yeah.
So
if you could figure out how to operate one of those deep sea submarines and go see some of the wildlife that's in like the Marianas Trench and stuff, like angler fish.
Imagine you get down there and it's just like everyone just moved to Atlantis.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom,
there he is. We got a dude. He found it. That's crazy, man. I don't know. Yeah, I would. In all honesty, I do think I would make it, but not before I had an extended series of near-death mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
I think it would be a close call, but I think in the end I would probably find I think a lot of people would eventually find a way to cope with it, and whether you're in the fucking loony bin or not,
right.
You find a way to survive. I mean, that primal instinct is deep within us to survive, to figure it out.
Maybe you just have you like literally lose it and you got a crazy social circle, but they're just imaginary friends.
Right.
Like you have, you got an imaginary friend when you're a kid. You just
exactly. Ronnie,
what's up, Rick?
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think
you'd
so.
have to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of heavy one, but
yeah. Shit, I don't know. It's weird to think about. This is one of those topics that I'm probably gonna be thinking about for like, on the 150th episode. I'll be like, remember that one time? I figured out my answer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always tough to articulate it all, but
because I mean, like we said, it's completely hypothetical. But
so hypothetical.
I would definitely. This is something I would love to hear other people's opinions on. If you were the last person on Earth, where are you going? What's the first thing you're doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Would you survive? What's your move? What's your process look like?
Yeah.
And I find it fascinating because I'm sure people would think of
crazy shit,
stuff that we would never think of.
Dope
shit.
I mean?
Yeah. Oh, live in Texaco. I don't know. I don't know.
Shoot myself out of a cannon. Oh, you actually said that.
Oh, I said Maybe that's how I'd go out. Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Just ski down Everest. Just strap them in and just say, we're out.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I'm with it. It's been a good hang.
It's been a good hang, my guy.
In the words of Jose Coupons. Bang! Wow.